Welcome everyone to Living with the Times. This week is Parshat Teitzei, and in this parsha there is a mitzvah where, God forbid, someone has to be hung because of a death sentence for something that they did. So the Torah says that you go through with the sentence, but you don't leave the body hanging on the tree overnight. You take the body down and you bury it. So this is one of many, many mitzvot in the Torah that in practicality we don't have anymore. We don't fulfill this mitzvah. And the question is, what do we learn from this? For thousands of years that we haven't instituted the death penalty. So the Baal Shem Tov taught that every mitzvah in the Torah, whether we do it now or not do it, every one has eternal meaning and significance. So there's an amazing story which I'm going to tell you that has to do with a connection to this mitzvah. So the great Kabbalist, the Arizal, there's two different versions of when he came to the city of Tzfat. One is he came 6 months before the passing of the great teacher of Kabbalah in Tzfat, the Ramak, Rabbi Moshe Cordovero, and that he sat quietly in the yeshiva, and no one made a big fuss over him. At the end of 6 months, the Ramak revealed that he was sick and he felt he was about to die. And his students said, "Who is going to take over for you?" And so he told them, the one who's going to take over from you, at first, you may think that his teachings are very different than mine. But once you hear him, you'll see that it's not a contradiction to any of my teachings. So they asked him, well, who is it? And he declined to tell them. But he said, the one who sees the pillar of fire leading my casket to burial, that is the one who will be your teacher. So the first version, as I said, is that the Arizal was already in Tzfat for 6 months when the Ramak passed away. The other version is that he actually came to Tzfat on the very day that the Ramak passed away. So either way, we're in the procession to the cemetery. And the grave diggers had already dug a grave for the Ramak. And so as they were taking the casket to bury him there, so the Arizal said, "You can't bury him there." And they said, "What do you mean? We already prepared the burial place." He said, "That's not where the pillar of fire has stopped." And so everyone was like amazed, and especially the students who remembered what the Ramak had said. And so the Ari pointed to the place where this pillar of fire had stopped, and they went and they buried him there. And someone turned to him and asked him to say a eulogy. And so the Arizal said the following. He said that the idea that the Ramak had done anything wrong in his life to deserve to die is not correct. He said the Marak was a pure soul, and he had no sin that could lead to his death. He said, though, so why did he die? And it's connected to this mitzvah of hanging a body on a tree. He said the only reason that the Ramak passed away is because Adam and Eve ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil and brought death into the world. And therefore, by nature, everyone has to die at some point. And so he said we can hang it on the tree that the Ramak passed away, not because of any sin, but just simply because eventually everyone has to die. So he hung the Ramak's death on the tree. And after they buried him, the students of the Ramak came before the Ari and pretty much fell on their faces before him and asked him to be their teacher. So here we see this mitzvah from thousands of years ago that we don't fulfill in practicality now. The Arizal found an illusion in it that applies not just to the Ramak, it applies to all of us. The fact that every person eventually will die, we can hang it on the tree. And so I'll end by just saying it's very interesting that the Arizal passed away 2 or 2.5 years after the Ramak, and he's actually buried above the Ramak. The Ramak is at the feet of the Arizal in the famous cemetery in Tzfat. So this is just an amazing story of how the Baal Shem Tov said that every mitzvah, every story in the Torah has eternal meaning.